Welcome back, everybody. So today I am doing a follow-up video to my cloud coffee of my dreams, which is basically a frothy whipped coffee drink I recently did. I will link that video below. Now, a lot of you asked on my TikTok video and here on YouTube, even on Instagram, if you can use ground coffee. Well, the original recipe calls for instant coffee because it dissolves, and the frothy coffee is easier to whisk and get into a stiff peak texture using the instant coffee, sugar, and hot water ratios. It's equal parts. But I'm doing some testing here in my kitchen, and I think I have an answer for those of you that only have fresh coffee to use. Now, mind you, this is going to be a rough test video, but I managed to get something similar using freshly brewed coffee. I hope this helps, and in the end, it's all tasty. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of tips for whisking this. You could, let's see here. I actually have a milk frother. You could use that. If you have an electric mixer, okay, great. I'm going to use a whisk. Now, a whisk and a clean glass bowl work best. If you're using plastic tends to be greasy, especially if you cook multiple things in it. So if I'm whisking in a greasy bowl, it's not going to create friction with what I'm whisking, which in turn will be a lot harder to incorporate air into a whipped product. So if you've been whisking, you tried this recipe and you're whisking for like 10 minutes and it's just flat and still liquidy, that might be the culprit. I have a very clean glass bowl. Even some people who make meringues or whipped cream will actually clean this with vinegar or something acidic to really get a clean vessel that you're going to whisk it or whip it in. So that's my advice if you are having trouble getting it to get foamy. So pretty much the recipe is equal parts liquid to sugar. And the recipe does call for instant coffee, but a lot of you are asking, I don't have instant coffee, so this is the method I'm trying today. I'm actually going to double it, so I'm using 4 tablespoons of sugar. The sugar I'm using is raw sugarcane sugar. Use what you have. So 4. So now I'm taking my brewed coffee that was strong. Same way, 4. Oops, that was a little more than 4, so maybe I'll go, there we go. So, all right, it didn't work. Here I have about 5½ cups left of my brewed coffee. I'm gonna add, just to make this quicker, and I'm going to boil this down to evaporate most of the liquid, and I want to end up with something thick and strong, and that might be what mimics the instant coffee to water ratio in the original recipe. Basically, we're trying to get this to be a whipped frothy coffee, and if you're using something liquidy and loose like just a brewed cup of coffee, I don't think, it's not going to work. So I'm going to try this method. Brew some coffee, add it to a pot, and basically make it sludge. Okay, so I decided to make this quicker. I'm going to add the coffee to a more wide space pan. And I actually went ahead and started boiling all of the coffee, but okay. So let's see if this works better to get me quicker results. You're going to simmer and reduce your brewed coffee basically into a sludge form. I think that will get us the whipped consistency. Okay, so I had about 3½ cups of coffee in here, and I've pretty much reduced it close to 1 cup. This is me just experimenting. So now I think what I'm going to do is add sugar and make a thick sugar syrup. So I'm going to go with 3 tablespoons of sugar. into my reduced simmered coffee. I'm going to mix this, and you can see it's really thick, and I really want this to reduce and become like a syrup. And I feel like if it's thick and syrupy, then we can whip it into something. Okay, so my sugar is completely dissolved, and I'm still going to reduce this until it is, like I said, just thick. And just, I really want to try to do this with, you know, to give you guys an alternative if you can't find your instant coffee. It took about 10 minutes on a medium-high heat to reduce down to this amount. 3 cups of coffee down to, it's almost going less than a cup of coffee, but you really, the whole point is to get this to a consistency that you could whisk, incorporate air, and have your frothy whipped coffee. So I am just testing this out. This could be a complete failure, and I'm back to the drawing board. Okay, so I think I'm at that stage. Take a look at this. Basically, I've evaporated most of the water, and when it's foamy like that, that means now it's down to the sugar. So I'm going to shut the heat off, and I'm going to test this in my bowl. Okay, so here is my syrupy, thick, sugary coffee right into my bowl. And it's really strong and very concentrated. I added my 3 cups of brewed coffee that I brewed kind of on the strong side. And then, whoops. And then I added 3 tablespoons of sugar. I feel like if I add, let's do this, because it's not overly sweet, believe it or not. It just depends, but this is a sweet coffee drink. Okay, so I'm gonna go for it. This, again, may be a complete failure. I don't know. Can I get this to work? I think it wants to work. The last time it took me about 3 minutes using the instant coffee to whisk. I don't know, guys. This might actually work. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. I will say, it is a lot of work, but if you're desperate to try this and you want to put in the work to get this frothy coffee, go for it. I think this is going to work. Okay, I'm going to meet you back here in about 5 minutes. I have a feeling it's going to take me a while. And again, with this amount, I could probably use my electric mixer. And by the way, if you guys are going to do this with a greasy bowl and a spoon to whisk, good luck to you guys. A lot of elbow grease is going to go into that. So try to use a whisk. Oh my gosh, I think it's going to work. Okay, so here I am still whisking. And I got to tell you, it's a lot of work. I understand how some of you guys couldn't get the result. And it's definitely easy if you have instant coffee. But it's totally doable if you just have to brew your own coffee. Okay, I'm going to go in with my milk foamer. See if this works. Yeah, this is so thick. Even my milk frother is like, nope, lady. And it's throwing it everywhere, so no, I'm not going to use this. Okay, so my arm's about to fall off. I feel you guys. All right. From the last recipe where you said you couldn't get it. So I think this is the best that I'm going to get it. But good news is, if you don't have instant coffee, you can get somewhat of this recipe. So the amount of strength of coffee that I used, I think you should split this. Basically 8 ounces, 2 8-ounce glasses of ice cold milk or coconut milk, and then half this, a dollop in 2 separate glasses. You basically want to divide it. I think it would be too strong for that amount of milk, unless you have like 16 to 18 ounces of milk for this. All right, so I'm adding ice cold milk with ice. That was about 8 ounces. And now half of my whipped sweetened coffee foam slash, this is kind of like a sludgy look. I'll take it after that workout I had. So as you can see, it almost feels like a little bit like marshmallows when you melt it. It kind of has that sticky marshmallow consistency. Okay, so I'm going to go in and see how this dissolves. So once it hits the ice cold milk, it does dissolve. It definitely doesn't dissolve as creamy as if it were to have like that foamy, but it is dissolving and it looks really good. I want to try this. Making a mess here, but I'm going for it. Yes, this is good. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.